Hello, let us see who is coming to this Royal News Live. It's your host, Francis Page here. Welcome to Francis Page Media Royal News Updates. Let us wait who is going to be showing up today for this live stream. Yeah, guys, you're welcome aboard this Royal News Live. I hope every single one of you has had a brilliant day today. It is Tuesday. Well done, guys. Tuesday, we are well into the new week. And things are moving very, very well in the world of our British royals, as you might have seen today. But before we go into that, guys, I would like to tell you that these are my very own views here, and whatever we share here is for information and educational purposes. Remember to be kind, guys. Let us show kindness and support to each other. Hi, Fiona. Thank you so much for being the first one in here. Thank you so much. How have you been, Fiona? I hope you have been really, really well today. It is the new week, and Tuesday it is today. Ooh, the week is already running very, very fast. Guys, I want to do a test of my sound system. Give me a comment if you think my sound isn't great, but if it is, then give me a thumbs up and we are all good to go. Hi, Fiona. Thank you so much for joining us today. Hi, Gayla, Candia. Yes. Great to see you as well. Thank you so much for those compliments. You guys empower me so much. And here we are with another edition of a Royal News Catch Up. A lot has been going on in the world of our British royals, guys. As you have seen today, King Charles III has conducted an audience today, meeting the first Asian British Prime Minister, Rishi Sunak, who visited the King at Buckingham Palace today, and King Charles gave him the permission to go and form a new government. We have had such a week of political turmoil here in the UK. For those who have been following up on these political stories in the country, we have had such a rough few weeks past with our new recent Prime Minister resigning, Boris Johnson wanting to come back in, and now Rishi Sunak finally being appointed as the new Prime Minister of the country. But yes, Rishi Sunak went and met King Charles III today at Buckingham Palace, where King Charles has given him permission to go and form a new government. You see, guys, that is why it is great to have a system, political system like ours, where you have the monarchy alongside the government, the politics bit of government, because now what we have seen here recently is a country that didn't have a prime minister, but yet we had a monarch or a king who has been sitting in there again to oversee decision-making processes until the prime minister has been elected today. So that has been King Charles into action. He traveled from is it Sandringham the other day to come to be there to officiate over this function we have seen today. So if you have missed out on that function, head over to the Royal Family channel. I think they have a glimpse of King Charles III meeting Rishi Sunak this afternoon. Yes, so guys, wherever you are, again, I'm sending you greetings and thank you so much, Fiona, for that update. It empowers me so much knowing that, yes, my sound is all nice, loud and clear. The other day, I was chatting to myself in here, not knowing that my sound wasn't on. So I always want to do a sound check before I go on with these messages. But yes, we have had such a terrible week in terms of politics. Fiona, you bear me witness because you're here in the country. And you know what has been happening at Westminster. Number 10, you know, hosting a series of presidents, prime ministers, before we finally get one in Rishi Sunak. We hope there will be some kind of stability with the way things are going to be run. And also, of course, the economic crisis we have been going through as a result of not having the right person in the government. You know, we need to sort of work out an economic plan for the country going forward. So we hope that Rishi Sunak will sort of try and sort out the differences that have been there with the government and bring things back to normal. But King Charles III has done his work like every other monarch has always been doing to welcome the new prime minister in office. Now, this is going to be the second prime minister that King Charles III has welcomed since coming into office. Can you imagine? The second, Queen Elizabeth welcomed 16, was it 16, 15 prime ministers in total? So King Charles has started counting. King Charles hasn't been in office even a year, and so far he has seen 2 prime ministers. Will he beat the record set by Queen Elizabeth? Let us wait and see. But if it goes the way things are, King Charles III might live to see more British prime ministers than Queen Elizabeth has seen in the 70 years on the throne. But yes, so that's that with wonder if they are going to put a revolving door on number 10. They should be able to do that, because the way things look, Fiona, it's one prime minister in today, another one in tomorrow. The reshuffle, you know, every prime minister has been making their own reshuffles when they come back, when they come into government. So new wave of ministers have been appointed now again. Barely weeks ago since Liz Truss appointed her own ministers. Now Rishi Sunak has appointed his. So there's a lot of instability within all the political departments here in the UK. Guys, pray for us if you're abroad, wherever you're watching from, US, Canada, India, wherever you are. Pray for us, for our country, United Kingdom, so we can have some form of political stability. Now, Gayla says, it has been so hard to watch these past 2 weeks, although so happy that King Charles III giving stability to your country. Yes, Candia, thank you so much for that observation. Where are you watching this live from, Gayla? Please drop that location in the comment section below. Let us connect with you guys. It's great to know where you are all located, so we can sort of map out our audience in terms of location and support. But yes, you are very right. We've gone through some really, really bad few weeks in terms of our political situation. And we have some here. Fiona says, hope that's water and not vodka. Yes, that's water. Water. Do you know what, guys? I think we need to be drinking more water in winter than actually summer, because the weather is so draining for some reason, and you don't see it, but you just feel like you're drained. This weather isn't very good at all, and apparently it's going to be very, very cold this winter. So guys, wherever you are, your glass of water like mine here will always make the difference. But yes, this is water, not vodka, Fiona. I would love a vodka maybe over the weekend after a very, very stressful week. Sam, hi, thank you so much for showing up on this live stream. You have been missing on a few live streams past, but great to see you. And I hope you have had a brilliant... Sam, you're on holiday, aren't you? I hope your holidays are going well. Kids are on holiday in UK, so I suppose all the wonderful moms watching this live stream have also taken some time off to catch up with bits and bobs with kids while they are at home. Thank you so much, Sam, for connecting and, of course, following up with this live stream. How are you finding politics this week, Sam? Is Rishi Sunak the candidate of your choice? Have we even had a choice anyway? That's the first question, because obviously we did not elect. This was a choice elected by the Conservative Party members because they have been in power. So far, they are still running within their period of governance. So this would have been their own choice. However, as a country, nation, we are lining up behind the choice they've made with hope that they can restore the economic crisis that we are going through at the minute. So thank you so much. And yes, Sam, great to know. Guys, we are again into another busy week of our royals. And as you have seen, King Charles has hosted the first, Asian British Prime Minister today in office to sort of give him permission to form a government. But on the other side, we have Princess Royal Anne, who is traveling to Africa tomorrow. I think as we speak right now, she's packing her bags, ready to go. These royals are never stopping. Princess Royal Anne, one of the most hardworking royals in the British monarchy, is setting off to go to Africa, and she will be visiting a number of charities while in Africa. I think she's going to Uganda, somewhere in East Africa. And she hasn't been out since she came back from New York a couple of weeks ago. So this would be her second tour out of the country. And of course, we know Sophie just came back from Africa recently. So it is Princess Anne that is said to go. We are not yet very sure how many days Princess Royal Anne will spend in Uganda. But one thing we know is that she is going to be at least visiting for at least 3 or 4 days. And of course, Princess Royal Anne's visits are rarely broadcasted. She was in New York the other day, but somehow people nearly even missed out knowing that Princess Royal was in US. But this time around, I think because Uganda is kind of a peaceful country, and we don't have so many royals that have visited the country in a long time. So this visit would hopefully be publicized just to show the Commonwealth that UK is indeed keeping in touch with those territories. We need them as much as we can, especially as United Kingdom is in such an economic crisis. So yes, Sam, great. It's a huge mess. Yes, I will agree with you. And Boris nearly came back into power. And Boris Johnson, he nearly came back in when he again stood down. You see, the thing with Boris Johnson, our former prime minister, he can be a man of drama sometimes. But again, at a time we thought he had come back to sort of put things right, and he decides to throw the towel in. But anyway, we hope he'll be back soon. Boris never disappears. He'll be back soon, I know, especially when we are getting to that general election time, because the Conservatives would really want a politician who has a mandate. And Boris Johnson had that mandate. So Sam, you are very right. We are in such a huge mess right now. Pray for us, guys, who are away from UK, who are abroad, wherever you're watching from. Keep us in your prayers. But at least we have our royals to provide that safe space for us to just come and chill out sometimes without worrying about the political world. And then we have Fiona here saying, wonder what a royal packs in their luggage. Ooh, of course, the royals. This is very interesting, Fiona, when you say, because they tend to go for weeks, sometimes 2 weeks. But the longest I think royal family members can be out of the country is 2 weeks because of the logistical bit of things. Very, very expensive to sort of run these royal trips. Don't forget, when royals are traveling, They travel with a big team. So the medical team would be part of that, Princess Royal's personal assistants. We've got a security team. We've got people who are dealing with food. So we have the chefs who are, tasked to deal with the royals' food, whatever they'll be eating while abroad. Royals don't eat food out of here. They might taste a few glimpses of the dishes put in front of them, but they tend to carry their own chefs from here to prepare food for them while they are on tour. And this is purely because of security issues. You never know what is in that food, but also they don't want tummy upsets abroad, etc. So it is very understandable. But royals in their luggages, we know Princess Royal Anne is one of those princesses, one of those royals who tend to they are very quick, short, precise. They don't, even with her bags, she doesn't carry so many bags with her whenever she's traveling. She likes to keep things really small, tight, and tiny. So I suppose she'll be carrying just her suitcase with clothing and all that stuff. But again, we have the other entourage traveling with her who may probably have a lot of things to carry just in case. Yes, so that is a very, very good question there. Average Zoom user Boris declined PM, right? Yes. Oh, yes. Boris. He came with a lot of energy. Boris did, but I think somewhere down the line there were mistakes made, especially during the pandemic. And the parties apparently held in Downing Street during the COVID season are the ones that mostly let him down, because while everybody else was sort of respecting the respecting the regulations that were in place of the lockdown, Boris Johnson apparently was throwing parties in Downing Street with his party colleagues. But again, it wasn't really good to see how his ministers hosted him, especially when they were also part of these parties, allegedly. So we won't sit here and say it was entirely Boris Johnson, but I think it was there's a lot to do with leadership and how he sort of failed to keep people at bay in terms of respecting those regulations while in office. But people are saying now we have got a prime minister who is full of integrity, who is very, very strict with things. Let us see how far we will go with him. But I know somewhere down the line, Boris Johnson will be back in the picture because the Conservatives really, really like him. And of course, the party members who haven't voted this time around. Because if he probably had the 100 MPs backing him, I'm quite sure the Conservative Party members would have still voted for Boris to come in power. That is the power that Boris has. But let us wait and see. But thank you so much for that acknowledgement. Fiona says, wonder what would happen if Boris got back in. Why did he pull out? I think it was to do with the fact that the bar was really high in terms of nominations. So for a candidate to go through the first stage, they had to have 100 MPs backing him. So Boris Johnson, I think, failed to make those numbers because remember when he left, nearly half of his ministers had resigned. So most of them were feeling shy again to come back and back him barely weeks, after resigning from his cabinet. So it was a case of Boris again thinking of, right, if I carry on, even when I strive to get the numbers, will I be able to have enough MPs to form a government? So he must have sat down and sort of made a lot of decisions and thought about things. And of course, we have his friends, colleagues who might have advised him behind the scenes to stand down. But I think it was a great idea for him not to run in this race, especially as he has only just left. And there is a Partygate, and what is it? It's an investigation that is still being conducted about Boris regarding the parties they had in Downing Street during the pandemic. So if again he's found guilty with those parties, he would have been stripped of the prime ministership. So I think it's a good idea for him. It was a good idea for him to stand back, let all that strip away, try to rebuild himself. I'm quite sure he'll be back in the future. Boris is only very young, 52. Sam, are you still here? I know you're Boris's friend. How old is Boris Johnson? Is he 52? Share with us, Sam, in the comment section below. I know Boris is your friend. I really liked Boris Johnson. Yes, he was a bit of a character, wasn't he? It's very, very, it's very, he could be very comic. What is it? He could be a bit comic sometimes, but again, that is what a politician sometimes need to do, bring that humor and, and not being too serious all the time. I think things just didn't go well for him, but very, very sure that Boris is still in the frame to come back. Trust me. Sam, please, do you know what Boris Johnson's age is? Share that with us in the comment section below, because I'm quite sure he's still way under 55 years. 52, 53, maybe 50. If he's old, it's maybe 58. But yes, he's still too young, so he'll come back in the frame. Okay, so they get extra luggage, allowance. I wonder if they take tea bags with them. I would love to think. Oh, they take all the good stuff with them, Fiona. They do indeed, all the great stuff. They have their special tea bags. They take their, they are royals. I think they have a special diet, a specific diet plan to follow on a daily basis. So the chefs would know what is on the menu for every royal for the next 6 months. I mean, that's how they really, really put so much time into these things. So, but yes, Princess Royal Anne is in Africa tomorrow, Uganda, and I'll keep you up to date with what will be taking place again while she is in Africa. Bless her. They don't tend to publicize most of her royal visits abroad, but we hope this time around she gets the publication she really, really deserves. And then the other thing as well we know with Princess Anne is that she is very, very hardworking. There are some trips and there are some things she does behind the scene that go unnoticed, because she's sort of an unsung hero. But this time around, King Charles III has really, really, really made it clear that all these royal engagements are going to be very much highlighted. They have whatever he has planned, or whatever engagements that he has set up for these royal family members to go on, they are going to be engagements that are going to be helpful to the royal family, to the economy. Remember, he trimmed down the royal family in terms of, in terms of those who are going to be senior and working royals, and dedicated enough funds to those few royals that he chose. And so Princess Anne will be one of those royals who are going to be allocated enough funds. So and that will mean social media in terms of publicizing her tours, because all these things cost a lot of money. The camera crew, the team, security, everybody that goes along these royals while they are on engagement. So expect to see Princess Anne feature more in our headlines come these upcoming royal tours. Now, William and Kate are heading to Yorkshire. Sam, you were in Yorkshire the other time, I think. I don't know. But I wish you were there during the visit for William and Kate. They are visiting Yorkshire on Thursday. And of course, they are there to visit a number of charities in Scarborough. And most of these charities are charities that are dealing with mental health, people suffering mental health issues, and women and children, and I think they are due to visit a charity that is helping homeless women. Yes, I'll read about that. Homeless women giving birth in those centers in difficult situations and all that stuff. But again, this is to raise awareness, and with this awareness comes the funding needed to support these communities. And there is no one that is better placed in the royal family to raise awareness than William and Kate, especially when it comes to mental health, because these two have a charity. I don't know, most of you must know that charity heads together. They established that charity before Prince Harry became a runaway royal. And with that charity, they were putting together policies and support and the funding needed to support people suffering mental health issues. So this is part of their heads together charity, to make sure that people suffering with all these problems are catered for, given the support and aid they need to live a life like everybody else. So yes, William and Kate are traveling indeed. Boris is 58, yes. 58, so he is still a young lad, isn't he? Sam, and I know he is he's your man, Sam. You love Boris, don't you? But somehow, let me go off topic here. Somehow, I really felt so sorry when all his cabinet ministers resigned, because I thought he was scapegoated. I don't know if that's the right word, and the way he held on till the very last minute. Remember, most of all his cabinet ministers resigned. There came a point where he had just about 6 cabinet ministers remaining. All the rest had resigned. But he was so determined to hang on. He was so determined to appoint new ministers to fill those positions that were falling vacant. And that is a fighter he was. When Liz Truss said recently that I am a fighter, I'm not going anywhere, and then she resigned the next day, I thought to myself, this is why Boris is going to be remembered by so many people, because he stayed in there. And apparently, when his home secretary resigned, his chancellor resigned, everybody, Boris Johnson was actually making it to all these departments and sitting in those offices for half hour a day just to do the work these ministers were doing. And I found that really, really brilliant for a leader to do, especially with those conditions Boris was serving under. But yes, Sam, really, he doesn't look mind dear me. And some says totally agree. He had thrown at him, but he got us through. He did, and people tend to forget very quickly. Some they forgot that Boris Johnson was, somebody who, who redeemed this country from, with the mandate. He got the mandate. He had nearly 80% people behind him, and he came into power at a time the country was falling apart with Brexit. Remember, there are a few prime ministers, Theresa May, who else? They couldn't take us through that Brexit period. But Boris stood in while everybody else thought things were complicated. Those negotiations were really, really complicated, but he stood in and got us through that wave. But people forgot all about that. But again, they put Liz Truss in, and barely weeks, Liz Truss falls apart, and they regret why Boris was ousted out of power. But like we said, never say never for Boris. I'm quite sure he's going to come back in one way, shape, or form. So, but anyway, guys, Princess Anne ever have time off? She never seems to be. Bless her. Yes, very, very well highlighted there. And the reason for that, I think, is because Princess Anne now has got her kids almost all grown up, and she has that so much time on her hands, really, compared to, say, for example, William and Kate, who still have young kids to raise. And say, for example, this week, William and Kate have been off because the kids are on holidays. So they took time off to spend that time with the kids. Very, very young kids, 8 years of age, you know, eight. How old are William's kids? 8, 5, and I don't know. But very, very young kids, you know. And you saw Prince Louis the other day over the Platinum Jubilee celebrations and how demanding he was. So you can imagine Catherine dealing with all that, plus having to go out on royal engagements. But Princess Anne has not got to worry about all that. So really, Princess Anne is the royal that who is there to respond to emergencies when they come up. So if there is an engagement that comes up very, very soon that needs to be carried out, Princess Anne is always on the go to go and do that. Last year alone, she took on about 200 royal engagements. Some of these engagements you might not have seen because, like I say to you, most of our engagements are behind the scenes. Now, of course, they brought Sophie into the frame now, who is also starting to take on more royal engagements since she was also awarded a new title. And of course, since Queen Elizabeth died, she took on most of Queen Elizabeth's upcoming roles. But it's great to see how they are working as a team to promote the interests of the royal family here and abroad. Now, you might not know, guys, King Charles III is also going to go on a world tour. So he's embarking on a worldwide tour in the next coming few months. But this tour, of course, the way they've termed it as a worldwide tour is not as if he's gonna go from UK and travel the whole world without coming back here. No, it's like they are sort of setting up a series of visits to different countries in specific time frames. And I think this might be happening before his coronation, because they want, for him to be coronated, they want these countries abroad, the Commonwealth countries and all that stuff, to be very much aware of who King Charles III is. And because most of these countries knew Queen Elizabeth, who was on the throne for 70 years. So with the death of Queen Elizabeth and the coming in of King Charles III, which was very abrupt, many Commonwealth states, you would imagine, are following up on what's going on, but many Commonwealth states still need to have that face-to-face interaction. The leaders in these states need to see the new king physically. Some of these need to be endorsed. Some of these have maybe just come into power recently, and they sort of need to know the preambles, the regulations, and the coordination that they have to put in place and stay in touch with the royal family here, the monarch here, who is the head of the Commonwealth states. And that will necessitate King Charles to be there physically to see these leaders. I know that there was a Commonwealth heads of government meetings in Rwanda the other time. But again, some of these leaders were not on that Commonwealth meeting, because some of them would have been appointed in. We have these elections taking place every now and then, new leaders in, out, old ones out. So this visit here is for King Charles to go really and meet some of these leaders face to face, get to know how they are operating down there, but all in preparation for King Charles's coronation, which is really, really fast approaching if you look at it. When is it, Sam? Can you remind us when the coronation is, please? I hope you're following up on those stories, Sam, but the coronation dates changed from the 6th of June next year to, Sam, that is a big task for you to remind us when when the coronation ceremony is going to be taking place. And Yes, so King Charles III obviously is going to embark on a world tour, but we shall know about the planning of these tours, the dates, and I will always be sharing those dates with you here on these editions of Royal News Live updates. Yes, so that's that with William and Kate traveling to Yorkshire on Thursday. And if you happen to be in Yorkshire or you're living near Yorkshire, Fiona, are you close to Yorkshire? I know you're up in Newcastle. Newcastle should be closer to Yorkshire. If you can make it to Yorkshire, Scarborough, I'll look up the details of the specific charities they'll be visiting so you can pop up and just give a wave to William and Kate as they go down there. It's always memorable seeing these royals live, you know, because we see them on camera, we see them on the news, television. It's great to see them live. I'm very lucky I got to see these royals live. You know, I worked with them. Some, you will agree with me. I worked with them and William and Kate, and I was at their royal wedding, and I saw them getting married. They were driven past me. I've seen Catherine grow from a humble, from the royal she was, who was a little bit shy and all that, to a confident royal she is today, because I was there right from the day she joined the royal family up to date. So, so Fiona says, yes, he got pushed out when he wasn't ready to go. It's true. I'm quite sure you're talking about Boris again. Yes, so was meant to be the 6th of May. It was, but they have changed that some. Okay, so, oh, no. Yeah, you're right. It was meant to be 6th of June, so that's changed to 6th of May. Yes. Thank you so much, Sam. Yeah, that's the new date for the coronation. I don't know yet why he chose that, but I think it's because we have a couple of bank holidays around that time. So adding the 6th to that series of bank holidays in May then gives us an extended bank holiday in UK. Ooh, we're gonna have fun with that. Lots of vodka. Fiona, will you be drinking? Okay, Sam, I know you love your vodka as well, don't you? But yes, you're close to Scarborough, about an hour and a half ish away. Please head over to Scarborough on Thursday and try and get some pictures for William and Kate live. It would be great to share with us here. But yes, William and Kate travel to Yorkshire Thursday. So that will be great. So we have William and Kate on engagements here in the country. Princess Anne out on engagements to Uganda, East Africa. King Charles planning a royal world tour engagement. He has made his first prime minister today, second prime minister today. So everybody in their department is very, very busy. Okay, so the other day, Prince Edward, this is another very, very quiet royal who does a lot of work behind the scenes. Prince Edward traveled to Bulgaria, went to Romania, most of those Eastern European countries. And again, he was on a mission to sort of help and see how these countries are coping with the problems going on in that region, especially as Ukraine is not so far away from them. But again, we have most of these organizations, charity organizations, operating on the outskirts of Ukraine, and these would be organizations sending in aid to Ukraine and all that. And these are located in those nearby countries. So Prince Edward was there again on a royal engagement sort of assignment to sort of play his role in communicating King Charles III's messages through this engagement. So Christine Anderson comes in. What will William and Kate be doing in Yorkshire? That's a good question. So they are again visiting charities. Most of William and Kate's visits are to do with charities. So they are visiting a mental health charity in Scarborough. but they are also going to meet women and children who are suffering from homelessness. And again, this is all part of, because we know homelessness leads to mental health and its associated issues. So, but this is all under their umbrella organization, which is Heads Together. You guys know Heads Together. This is a mental health charity they set up a few years ago to help people suffering mental health. So they will be visiting charities in Yorkshire. I think this is going to be the second time William and Kate have visited Yorkshire. They were there a few years before the pandemic, and but these are places that are very, very close to the heart of the royal family, because I think Yorkshire is, we have so many military barracks and regiments based in Yorkshire, Catterick, and we had the Duke of Edinburgh, the late Prince Philip, who used to be a colonel, in charge of most of the Yorkshire regiments. So we had so many royals traveling there during the time to go and visit during Prince Edward, Prince Philip's, work, with these regiments in Yorkshire. So it is a place that is very, very close to the royals' heart. But being up there and seeing these royals live will be a great honor. So guys, Fiona, make sure not to miss out on this opportunity. Vodka, rose wine. Not vodka, rose wine. Okay, yeah, Sam, you love rose wine. Yes, you'd go through a bottle or two, I know. I'm very rubbish with drinking, but yes, maybe a pint of Guinness you will have made my night. Yes, so that's what is really, really going on here in the UK with our royals. It has been a little bit quiet with royals here. I think recently it's because of the death of Queen Elizabeth that came as a shock to most of them. So there has been a lot of changes taking place behind the scenes, and there would have been engagements that Queen Elizabeth had assigned to different royals, but her death, of course, meant that they changed plan and sort of took on her engagements, so they had to shift people here and there, which was a huge setback for the royal family. So what we are seeing now is a plan that is starting to put into action. But after they had taken that few weeks off to mourn the death of Queen Elizabeth. So that is what is going on at the moment across the Atlantic. Meghan and Harry are also there doing their bits and bobs. And of course, a lot of controversy we hear. Meghan has run into trouble with Whoopi Goldberg. Is it Goldberg? I don't know how they pronounce that name, but we know Whoopi. And so there's a lot of trouble going on there between Meghan and Whoopi. And this stems from Meghan's remarks during her interviews, where she talked about her time on Deal or No Deal, saying that she was objectified on the show. And she said many women were also objectified, and she saw this firsthand. And she said that her status as a woman was demeaned, and she wasn't given any respect while she was on the show. And she claimed that many women who were on the show were going through the same thing. So now Whoopi came up and said that those remarks Meghan made were wrong, and they made all the other women that were on the show feel bad. And of course, we have seen many women come up as well to testify against Meghan, saying that no, we weren't objectified. We were given an opportunity to shine. We auditioned for these jobs. Nobody forced us to go on Deal No Deal. It was our first big project. Of course, many people looked at being on Deal No Deal. Women looked at big on Deal No Deal as an opportunity for them to step up and start earning money, create a bright future for themselves. And here was Meghan Markle, of course, saying that those women were objectified. The job wasn't really the right job for them, and Whoopi Goldberg came up and said those remarks were terrible and that Meghan shouldn't have said those things. Okay, that Meghan wasn't grateful for the opportunity she had to go on the show. These women, there are so many women out there who would have wanted to have these opportunities that didn't have them. So yes, there's a lot going on with Meghan, and Whoopi is saying, Meghan, the next time shut up if you don't have what to say. And of course, Whoopi reached out to the former, the bosses who used to run this show and told them about these remarks. And there was a massive argument going on with the bosses rebuking Meghan and also coming up to tell Netflix how Meghan's remarks have really, really demeaned the show and people that worked on the show. And I think this somehow is causing some fracas for Meghan behind the scenes. Okay, so we'll also keep you up to date with that as it comes through. But yes, those stories are trending everywhere, and many people are leaving comments of every sort, about Meghan and how she is really, really treading in the wrong path. So the Daily Mirror here. Oh, sorry, my system has frozen. I was going to show you some stories here. I'll wait for it to happen. Yes, so that's what is going on in the world of Meghan and Harry. We have Lorna late again. Yes, Lorna, we are nearly there, but great again that you showed up. And yes, always an honor to see you here, Lorna. I think you've missed a few of those live streams recently, but hey ho, it is very busy for everyone here in the UK recently. So I truly appreciate you guys who managed to show up, however late you are on these shows. You are making a massive difference. Did I miss that comment? I know it was reported 14 of her horses. Why? Okay, yeah. Bit shocked. Charles sold the Queen's horses. Okay, oh, I had missed that. Yes, okay, so it is to do with management of these horses. You know very much as well that these royals have different interests. They have different passions. And if there isn't anybody that is going to be there to keep an eye on some of these things, they will, then it makes no sense to keep them running. So, of course, the Queen had so much love for the horses. But as we know, King Charles is trying to limit resources. He's trying to sort of put money into places that are very, very vital. And he thought that some of these things, if the Queen is no longer there anymore, and some of these things belonged to her, there wasn't any issue continuing forking out so much money in maintenance and all that stuff. So they have decided to sort of sell some of these things, donate others to charity, etc. But you're very right. I think that was a big story recently. And yes. So Lorna said, catch up later on. Yes, thank you so much, Lorna. Catherine says the women wear models and are supposed to look glamorous. Whoopi was right. It's a job. You do the job. That's it. That was Whoopi's argument. And she said it was a job. When you have a job, you do it well. And it also shows to us that gratefulness is very important. If you're not grateful for what you have, and then you sort of complain about this, that, and that. Yes, women who come on shows, especially shows like that, have to appear in a certain way. It's the dress code. It's like reading newspapers, or reading news on television, and you have to wear a tie. Me in the army, I had to wear my uniform to show up on parade, to show up on these duties. Okay, I had to wear a certain sort of outfit to do that. But these programs are all sort of choreographed in different ways. And this is all part of the job. When you sign up for these jobs, you know what you're going into. So if you don't agree with those things, it is better for you to say right from the start that, you know what, I don't agree with this. I won't take this job offer, and you'll be good. But taking the job offer and then going behind the scenes and complaining like she is doing on camera, I think isn't the right way to go about these things. And the women, of course, who were on the show at the time with her have all come out and given evidence. I think there's a story. My system here is really, really playing up. I would have showed you the story, guys. One lady came up and said whatever Meghan said, it was actually very, very demoralizing to so many women out there, because there are some women who looked at this as a career ambition, as something they really would have wanted to have starting their careers. And then we had Meghan here Meghan here talking whatever she said against this job roles that she had. Something which for us shows how ungrateful she is. And also, she married into the royal family, and see how things have panned out. She's now talking about the royal family in ways that don't actually appreciate the support and the opportunity they had given her, serving in the royal family. She went on those royal engagements with Prince Harry. She would not have traveled to some of these places, and she wouldn't even have got the publicity she got in those very, very few years or months she was with the royal family, had she not been given that opportunity. But up to date, here is a Meghan who is not appreciating any of that. So what is she going to appreciate in life? Okay. And Fiona says Meghan deserves the Golden Spoon Award. She's a real sire. She is, yes, she really does. She really does. And here is the thing, as she came here for obviously they were here with Harry for a series of engagements, and then unfortunately Queen Elizabeth died while they were here. But I think that period showed Meghan how people don't like her in this country, and she saw the damage she caused. And I think she knows how powerful the royal family is right now, because she expected to say whatever she said, and she expected people to turn around and say, to hell with the royal family, blah, blah, blah. We are not going to, respect the Queen anymore and all that stuff. But to her surprise, it was the opposite. Okay, she got the message that the royal family, the Queen, the monarchy is something nobody jokes about, nobody jokes with. Okay, you touch the royal family, you go against them, your reputation is going to go down the drain. And history has it. When you look at all the runaway royals, things did not end well for them. And Meghan now is starting to realize, reality is starting to sink in for her, that, she was trading very, very wrongly. And now, even her friends she used to have, the companies that used to associate with her nowadays are being very, very careful to associate themselves with her, at least not in public, because whoever now associates with Meghan directly and people get to know about them, there is always going to be a certain level of scrutiny that will be done against those people, because they know how Meghan is not genuine coming to certain things. So those associating with her are also going to be looked at in the way they are looking at Meghan. Okay, so she was talking about the mental health issues she had within the royal family, and how she did not get the help and support she needed when her husband, Prince Harry, was running a mental health machine within the royal family together with William and Kate. under the Heads Together. So how could she turn around and say she was suffering up to a point of suicide and she didn't have any support when her husband and even Meghan, when she arrived, she joined that Heads Together campaign. So they became 4 royals. So I don't understand how the Heads Together offers support to other people suffering mental health and they don't help Meghan. Okay, so you could see that there were a pack of lies there. But then we also see Prince Harry coming on an interview recently and saying that he suffered mental health. He had never heard of therapy in his life. And you're wondering, how on earth Prince Harry was in charge of the mental health campaigns? They were given a lot of money to sort of provide avenues, policies, ways on tackling mental health. Prince Harry, during his army days, went through a lot of therapy to help him cope with the mental health challenges during his service in the army. So he knew, he was very much aware of the therapy out there given to people to help them deal with mental health. Yet, in front of cameras during his recent interview, Guy, you might have missed that interview. Prince Harry said he didn't know anything about therapy, and that he wasn't helped in any way, shape, or form. And you could see that he was mirroring conversations that his wife shares on those other interviews. And it was very clear that, again, these are scripts that Meghan probably writes for Harry to go and speak during interviews, because they adopted this narrative of riding on the blame culture, of victimizing themselves and wanting people to buy into that. I don't know what you guys think about that, but share your thoughts in the comments. Thank you so much for joining us today, Fiona. And it was great, by the way. Fiona has a channel to Kenya Lifestyle. Guys, if you're not subscribed yet, let us support our sister. It was great seeing your video earlier to Kenya. I'm really, really looking forward to the ideas you're going to share with us on how you monetized and how you are now earning money through your videos. Of course, you're doing an awesome work on that channel. I truly support your efforts, and well done for your growth, Fiona. You so much inspire so many women out there. And then some says, don't know Fiona, just seems to be clearing things out. Okay. And Lorna says, did Meghan apply for the job and didn't know what she would be doing? The girls on the show looked lovely. Absolutely. That is the big question everybody is asking. Because when you apply for a job, they give you a job description. They give you an insight into what you're going to be doing on the show. And you also do a lot of rehearsals behind the scenes. So if there are things that you don't agree with, you could as well stand up and say that I don't like the way I'm going to be wearing on this show, or I don't want to do this on this show. And then maybe they would change things a little bit for you. I don't think she did that, because I'm quite sure every job has got allowances, okay? It's more like walking into a place and you have to wear a hijab, but then if you're not comfortable wearing that, of course they are not going to tell you wear a hijab or do that. So there must have been allowances. Every job has some allowances and conditions and all that stuff that are in place for you to understand before you take that job on. Okay, so clearly Meghan here was telling us that probably she had her hands tied and she didn't even look at the job description. She just got thrown into the job and off she went. Okay, making us look as if we are stupid. Will she ever stop? Okay. But she didn't complain when she got her paycheck. Of course, money bags girl. Have you heard of it's a dinner? I think there's a gala dinner the gala dinner that Meghan is due to attend, and I think on this dinner people will be paying 5,000 US dollars to dine with Meghan on that dinner. So this is all news coming up to us recently, that a charity in Indianapolis, United States, invited Meghan to go, and they are setting up tables where people will have to pay £4,000 to dine with Meghan. I wonder who is gonna go to do that, because I don't think they will get so many guests on that evening, given given the sort of reputation Meghan has set up for herself. I really doubt there are people who would like to associate with her. Okay, so to Kenya says, Francis, please, if you see Meghan, remind her that say when you go to Rome, you do as the Romans do. You know, these sayings are always there. English sayings really were put there for a reason, and they really help us lead life in the way life should be. When you go to a place, behave like the Romans do. Okay, Queen Elizabeth went to Saudi Arabia a few years ago. She entered into a mosque. She took her shoes off before going into that mosque. She wore was it a hijab or something, and covered herself. Was that in Saudi Arabia, Pakistan? I don't know, but some time back you could have seen that, guys. So Queen Elizabeth, the Queen of the United Kingdom and the Commonwealth, the most powerful woman she was, adorable as she was, respected the values and norms, took off her shoes and walked bare feet in a mosque, wore a hijab. Okay, she went and sat down. We have seen royals doing that. We saw William do the same when he went to Saudi Arabia. We saw they did the same in Pakistan with William and Kate. Okay, so these are norms, conditions that come with visiting certain places, cultures, and this very much applies to jobs. You know, to establishments we visit, the culture is very important, and reacting or behaving in a way that culture calls people to do is always the right thing to do if you're to succeed in every establishment. So it is really being silly to go on the camera later on, make interviews, and try to downplay those moments. And it's more like the Queen going live and saying, I walked in Saudi Arabia bare feet, how dare them do that to me? And, okay, you guys know where I'm coming from, but Phoebe, that is really great of you to acknowledge that. Behave like the Romans do. Okay. And Catherine White, Fiona, some apologies, I'm late. The party, you're very late, very late, Catherine. But I know maybe you were somewhere on TikTok putting up some posts. By the way, Catherine is a big TikToker, guys. If you're not following her, she has a TikTok channel page. I think it's called Royoliota, whatever. Please, Catherine, if you don't mind sharing your TikTok page with us here in the comments below, I would like people to check in your daily royal updates via your TikTok page. You are really doing a great job exposing Meghan's behavior, and I think many people are following your page simply because of what you are doing. And also, thank you so much for your support, guys. Catherine White, I see you very much popping up on my TikTok videos. I really appreciate. And to Kenya, Phoebe, are you on TikTok? Quite sure you're not. Maybe are you on TikTok, Phoebe? Okay, so Ralph. Oh, hello, Francis. Yeah, hello, Ralph. Great to see you. It's been a while since you popped up. Great. I think the other day I had issues with my messaging bit here on this app. I couldn't see any messages. I couldn't see any comments. I didn't even know how many people were live with me on the program. So sorry if I wasn't communicating to any of you. It's because I wasn't seeing anything on my screen. But later on, I got a notification to say that the app had issues on the day. So hi Ralph, if you were on the show last time, and indeed each one of you, I truly was very grateful for your support on my last live stream. So Fiona says 5,000, that's a disgrace. Yes, 5,000 to go and dine with Meghan. That is going to be next month in Indiana. This charity has announced on there. It's called the Charity Fund, I think. What is the name of that charity? I'll look for it. Or guys, go to my recent YouTube post video. My post was basically about Meghan's, charity gala she's going to attend, and how she said to dine with her you would need to pay 5,000 US dollars. And she said if you can't afford that, people can buy a table in a group of 10, and they sort of put that money together, so collect that money together, each one paying about 500 US dollars or whatever. But again, it still comes down to Meghan now starting to sell herself as a product there. People need to come, but to see her there, you need to pay that money for you to get a chance to sit on that table with her. That way of raising money, I think, is not the right way to go about things. Those are my thoughts, guys. I don't know what you think about that, but I will have agenda, Catherine. Yes. Oh, that's what happened. Yes, guys. Yeah. So that was really terrible of Meghan to do. People needing to pay money to go and see her. Now, there is a lot going on in the royal family. Of course, arrangements for the king's coronation are taking place. They are designing invitations, but Meghan and Harry have been put on condition that if they go ahead with what they are doing, none of them will be invited to come for the Queen's for King's coronation ceremony. And apparently, the Netflix documentaries that were due to be released have been put to a later date. And I think this is because they never wanted to release the documentary during the time when Queen has just died. But again, there is a series of The Crown that is also due to be released, and they thought they've never wanted these to crash or collide. But I think there is more to that. And I think it's to do with Meghan and Harry realizing that whatever they said in those documentaries, and indeed the book that Harry wrote, was really going to be very delicate. And there is a scuffle going on behind the scenes with Meghan and Harry trying to convince the Netflix giant to try and edit a few bits out and all that stuff. And Netflix is also, they are locked up in some sort of battle. We very much know. And the conditions that King Charles III has put on Meghan and Harry as well are leading to some of that scuffle, because he said, you go ahead to produce that book, go ahead to air those documentaries, the titles will be gone for good. You won't be coming back to United Kingdom in any royal capacity, and no one of you will turn up for my coronation ceremony. And of course, without all those things, Meghan and Harry will lose even the smallest of the deals they already have with these other establishments we don't know about, because these companies, organizations are working with these former working royals only because they have that attachment to the royal family. So that out of the window then means that Meghan and Harry won't be able to survive economically. Okay. And of course, right now, they are still using those royal titles somewhere, somehow, okay, because the king hasn't come out publicly to say that no more using of those royal titles, okay? Because we have seen on a number of occasions Meghan being introduced at occasions as the Duchess of Sussex, the Duke and Duchess of Sussex, even on this charity event that is being organized, where Meghan is suggesting people pay 5,000 US dollars to dine with her. They have written a big post on their website saying the Duchess of Sussex, okay? And so clearly, they are still benefiting off those royal titles. Now, can you imagine if they scrap those titles of them and Meghan becomes just Meghan Markle with no royal title attached? Do you think they can do anything meaningful out there? I really, really doubt. So they are trading very carefully nowadays. Even when Meghan is talking, is on her podcasts, you can see that she is now starting to tone down. She's starting to talk passively, in fear of running into the royal family directly. We are very clever to analyze those messages and still see that somewhere, somehow, she's taking a swipe at the royal family, but she's now starting to be very clever in doing it so that it doesn't come across as if she is really, really taking on the royals directly. But it's still really, really bad because you know how much she was welcomed in the royal family. You know how much she has gained a name for herself. Okay, she is now trending in most newspapers and all channel, social media and everywhere. Meghan is trending, but sadly, she's trending for all the wrong reasons. And I think Meghan likes that. Okay, whatever somebody's gonna talk about Meghan, as long as her name is out there in the papers, she's okay with that because that's how obsessed she is with fame. Okay. But we shall continue exposing her. We shall continue decampaigning her negative ways against the royal family, and in the hope that we help people to see that the royal family was really welcoming to these two. The royal family was supportive of Meghan and Harry, but there were some ill intentions, and there was some kind of manipulation that Harry went through as a result of Meghan coming in that led to this falling apart of Harry and his family. Very, very bad for you to take somebody away from their family, isolate them, take control of them. Harry was very happy. You guys remember Prince Harry during his times. They are very happy. He was very loved. He was very he was himself. You could tell Harry was the most loved royal. He's going to being the most loved to actually the least loved royal. Recent research has published some statistics, very interesting. And Harry now is very, very down there, I think with 23%, from 90 to 23, even way below, more than Prince Andrew, you can imagine. Okay, but taking somebody away from a family that they grew in, from the values they very much loved, okay, and isolating them, taking them to a different country, keeping them away from their family. These are things that Harry has been exposed to by Meghan, okay. And recently, Harry broke down on stage. If you saw that clip, I think he was attending a certain function and he broke down on stage halfway his speech, and you could see a Harry that wants help, that is crying out for help. Guys, help me. Because he used to come on the shows that he used to attend. He was always vibrant, very happy. He had a lot of comedy and all that stuff. All these things we no longer see with Prince Harry. All we see is somebody who now comes in and say, me and my wife were not treated well. His conversations are just portraying a lot of victimhood, always victimizing himself, because this is the idea that has been sold to him by Meghan. Really, really, really shameful to see what Prince Harry has been reduced to recently, where he would be a great asset to the royal family, especially now that King Charles now is in power. He's the monarch. If we had Prince Harry around with William, that strong brotherhood going on campaigns, pushing the royal agenda forward, I think that would have made all the difference. Okay, but we lost Prince Harry, and I doubt that we are going to get him back, because the level of what's that word, manipulation that he has seen, or the way he has been manipulated, I really doubt we are going to get back the Prince Harry we used to have. Okay, and it's now he has actually made Prince William look great, because Prince William before then was looked at as the shy, not confident, and all that. But Prince William now has really upped up his game. He's now the savior of the monarchy. Him and Catherine have really teamed up together to push the royal agenda forward. And I think where Meghan and Harry are, they are seeing William and Kate fly high every day, and probably feel jealous of these two royal sweethearts. What do you think about that, Catherine? I know that you are very, very good with analyzing William and Catherine in relation to Meghan and Harry. I truly appreciate your support, guys. And of course, when we come here and talk about these things, we are not trying to bring down Meghan and Harry, or we are not trying to be spreading hate or anything like that. We don't want that. But what we are trying to do is to sort of help people see, how the royal family is being sort of, what's the word? How people are perceiving the royal family in the wrong way as a result of Meghan and Harry saying and doing whatever they are doing. And what we are doing here is to try and restore and try to, show people that, especially us who have worked in the royal family, because I was in the royal family for a good number of years. And I know the values. I used to see these royals. I used to get support and help. Everything was in place, okay? Whether you're suffering from mental health, whether you needed support with your family, compassionate support, this support was always there. So I really, really don't think that Meghan and Harry's claims are right, because if they manage to help us soldiers who were down here, how could they fail to help Harry, Meghan, who were up there? Okay. So when we come here to share these conversations and stories, we are trying to show people that the royal family is actually a very, very good establishment, and one that is really supporting every single one that is working in that institution, whether you are Kate or you're down there as a cook. Okay. So Fiona says, William, Harry, and Kate worked so well together. Absolutely, they were such a great team. They used to call them the Fab Four, didn't they? And then Catherine says, Prince William is through his grief over the loss of his brother and moving on his future. He is absolutely, he's doing really well. And Meghan and Harry have a strong opponent in Prince William, a very, very strong one. And Prince Harry knows this. He knows that you can never joke with William. Prince Harry recognizes and respects William to the core. Okay, and he knows what Prince William is capable of doing. Okay. Prince Harry, even when they were growing up, you could see that Prince Harry was always the rebellious child and Prince William was always the sensible one. Okay, and this is really so reflecting of how they are even today. But you see how Harry is always flying about with word statements, saying this and that without really thinking about the repercussions, without having that judgment of how things will pan out. And then we are seeing a William here who has a very strong sense of judgment, who is very thoughtful at saying things, even when he's really, really angry. Prince William never really loses it. I know there is a video that trended of Prince William again telling of a certain journalist who was trying to film him while in his free time. And you could see that even if he was angry, he kept his calm somewhere, somehow. Okay. You've seen on so many occasions Prince William running into journalists and the media asking him questions, and how he has responded to those questions. You could see a very angry man inside, but very composed in how he was answering his questions. And one of those questions was, I think, when they asked, do you think the royal family is a racist family? And he said, we are very much not a racist family. So that response was implying to us that whatever his brother is doing out there to destroy the image of the royal family, William is here protecting and coming across as that shield to stop these things. And that is why King Charles III really loves Prince William. And that's why he trusts him. That's why when King Charles is making decisions, he makes sure William is there right beside him. He makes sure that these decisions are made together. Even when it is to write down who is going to sit where in terms of, guests coming to attend these functions, William is very much in the frame when they are making these decisions, because King Charles knows this is his son he can trust. This is his son who has stood the test of time, and a son who has really, really been there during these very difficult times to support his family fully. Queen Elizabeth was very, very ill, but she wasn't doing well health-wise, mobility issues and all that stuff. While Prince Harry was abroad, and Meghan and Harry pumping those conversations and negativity and stuff that was adding stress to Her Majesty the Queen. Bless her, she finally died. But again, it was Prince William, Kate, the usual suspects who were here to see the Queen level up, Right, guys, I'm about to finish this live, but thank you so much for these thoughts. I really, really love them. His face is a set of fish, and Fiona says Meghan and Harry have therefore burnt their bridges. They have 100%. I don't see any way back in for these two. And I don't even think that even when they come back later on in any way, shape, or form, that trust is going to be rebuilt. No way. No way. Okay, the bridges have been burned. Trust has been lost. Not even a single member of the royal family trusts them. You know how they came back here for the Queen's death, and you saw how distant they were. They sat in the same car with William and Kate when they came for that walk down at Windsor Castle, when they came to see the floral tributes left behind for the Queen. They sat in the same car arriving, but a source very close to the royal family said that there were no meaningful conversations in that car. And you could see how Catherine behaved when how Catherine looked at Meghan as they walked down, okay, with that face of, right, you know what, keep your distance, girl. Stay in your space, okay? Body language was really, really showing to us. But, even the Zaras, everybody, the Beatrices and everybody, you could see that there was a big gap between Meghan, Harry, and the rest of the royal family. And you could see that nobody was willing to engage in any meaningful conversations, just in case these conversations are leaked. Okay, so that's how bad things have got for these two. Okay. But yes, you're very right. There is no getting back in. Catherine, you will bear me witness. You know how much damage Meghan has done and Harry have done to the royal family. Now, I know that they are still the Duke and Duchess of Sussex, okay? But those titles are dormant. They are not supposed to be used in any shape or form because they are no longer working royals. But they are still being introduced as the Duke and Duchess of Sussex. Can you imagine? Because Meghan would say, right, we left the royal family. We don't want anything to do with them. We don't even want to use those titles. Okay, but they are using them, which tells us that they are very much riding riding by this, by these royal titles, then start respecting them. Start appreciating the royal family. If we start talking these conversations, we shall stay here, guys, but I need to close down because the battery is starting to warn and I don't want to end on a very rubbish note. It's been great having all of you on this live stream, guys. Thank you so much for sharing your thoughts here. Truly appreciate every single one of you. Fiona, Lorna, Catherine, Sam, guys, you are really, really great in your support. Your messages here keep driving these Royal Channels messages forward. Phoebe, keep up the great work you're doing. Ralph, thank you so much. You finally caught up on this one like you always do. Christine Anderson, wherever you are, guys, I'm really, really appreciative of your support. Every single one of you guys who is on this live stream. I'm very, very honored to always have you. Lorna says, can you keep the weather nice from the 31st? May, son and daughter-in-law will be there Monday to Saturday. Hopefully that happens. Are they going to be able to see, okay, 31st, which 31st are you talking about, Lorna? Is 31st of this month or 31st? Is that the 31st of this month or next month? Which month are you talking about, Lorna? And of course, we know that winter is winter time in UK here, so anything can really, really happen with this weather. But we just take it as it comes. We take any day as it pans out. But thank you guys, Fiona, Nanite, Lorna. Okay, Monday, okay, of October. Yes. Hopefully, fingers crossed. That is going to be Halloween night here, I think. Yes, and Sam, fully love. If you're still on this live stream, I know that you enjoy, you like Halloween nights. I'm quite sure you have decorated everywhere with pumpkins. And Natalie, hi Francis, you provide a very unique insight since you worked within the royal family. I enjoy your live streams. Thank you so much, Natalie. I'm really, really, really grateful for those acknowledgements. Sorry, Natalie, if you've just popped up on this live right now and you've missed most of it. We are sort of closing down this live, but it's always great to see you pop up. And if you have been on the show here, truly, truly appreciate. Guys, thank you so much for your support. Our royal family is still, recovering from the death of Queen Elizabeth. And we are supporting them to see that they recover. King Charles III so far has really, really tried to step up, but he is stepping into big, big shoes. Queen Elizabeth left such a big gap. It's going to be very, very difficult for any upcoming monarch to fail, including King Charles himself. But lucky for King Charles is that he served nearly half of his time working with Queen Elizabeth. So we will say that he has really, really started off very well. And we hope that by the time he hands over to William again, he would have achieved what he has done, what he would have done as king. But we are very much in support. Natalie, watch the whole show. Thank you so much. Truly, truly grateful for your support, guys. I'm going to sign off and let us catch up again very soon, guys. I think I will be doing another live stream. I tend to do these live streams once every now. So 3 times a week. So I will do another one around Friday time, guys. I have a very busy day tomorrow. And most of you guys, I'm really, really sure you're having very, very busy lives out there. Keep up the great work you all do. Keep healthy, stay strong. Let us carry the flag of Francis Page Media forward, guys. And any other questions you would like, please leave them in the comment section below. Please pop up every now and then and show support to my videos. I tend to post around 9 o'clock UK time, 9 p.m. UK time. Pop up and show some support. But truly, truly appreciate your kindness. on these live streams. I'm going to end it here, guys, and have a fantastic rest of the week. Let us stay in touch. Catch up very soon, guys. Thank you all so much. Bye bye.